I hope the little rabbit is doing fine, but I'm sure he does have the vigor and courage to escape the eagle and the cacti. Oh, hi! Welcome back. I was indeed waiting for your return. Don't you remember we left our rabbit back in danger of being snatched away by the eagle and being pricked by the cacti? We have to save our little rabbit, right? Yes, I am very much eager to save our little rabbit, and I'm sure you're all set too. So, in the previous session, we added 3 sprites to the game: the rabbit, the eagle and the cactus, and we animated each one of them. In today's session, we will be modifying the game we created to help our rabbit escape skillfully from the eagle and the cactus. So, without wasting much time, let's begin. Session, we save the project to the desktop. Since we are continuing with our last project, we can upload the same here. For that, open the file, click on Load from your computer. Select the file The Jumping Rabbit, which we saved on the desktop. Then click OK. We have uploaded the content. Well, let's have a look at what we created in the previous session. Click on the flag button and wow, the animation looks great. Did you notice the cactus is not hiding properly? It is because unlike the eagle, its X position is different. Click on the cactus. You can see the X position is changing only from 257 to minus 257. So, let's place these values in the code. See, the problem is solved. Did you notice something? The eagle likes to sweep in from above and carry away his prey. He doesn't like to fly behind and get exhausted. So, he sweeps in the opposite direction of his prey and with his heavy claws tries to grab the poor animal. Scary, right? I know. This way, he gains greater momentum and conserves his energy. As eagle is such a cunning, vicious creature, he enters from the right side from above. Now, we need our rabbit to outrun the eagle and the cactus. Any idea on how to help the rabbit tackle the eagle and the cactus sprite? To escape the eagle sprite, the rabbit must dodge so the eagle will pass over without touching him. And to escape the cactus sprite, the rabbit has to jump. To bring this into action every time, we need control buttons for the rabbit sprites, just like a remote control. So, we will set out 2 arrow sprites to bring it into action, an up arrow sprite and a down arrow sprite. We will be animating the arrow sprites in such a way that when the up arrow is clicked, the rabbit jumps, and when the down arrow sprite is clicked, the rabbit crouches. You can stop the code now. First, let's make the rabbit dodge. Click on the Choose a Sprite option and an arrow sprite is available here. Well, let's select another arrow that suits our purpose. But there's only one arrow available here. So in such cases, what should be done? Yes, we have to download the image. You know the drill, right? Open the browser. On the browser, search for 𝗙𝗵𝗲𝗃. Then go to the Images option. Let's choose this image. Right-click on the mouse and select Save Image As. You can also save it in any folder of your choice. Now, rename the image as arrow and then click on the save button. Let's get back to Scratch. Now we need to upload the image. For that, from choose a sprite option, select upload sprite option. Choose the image downloaded from the downloads and yes, it's added to the stage. Did you know rabbits usually tense up if they are stressed or worried? They might go into a crouch position or flatten themselves against the ground, like they're trying not to be seen, but are also ready to run if they need to. And here, our rabbit is smart enough to crouch, run, and not hit the cactus on the go. Oh, you see, the arrow occupies most of the stage space. So, let's reduce its size from 100 to 50. Let's place it over here. So now, when we click on the down arrow, the rabbit should crouch. For that, we need to switch the costumes of the rabbit first. Go to Costumes, and as you can see, there are no costumes available to dung the rabbit. So, we have to create a dung costume. Right-click and duplicate the costume Rabbit Bee, and then rename it as Rabbit Dung. Now, click and separate each body part. Adjust each of its positions. First, let's move this leg and place it properly. Similarly, adjust the position of the other leg so that the rabbit appears to be in a dung position. And well, the hands are positioned correctly, so there is no rearrangement necessary. Is there anything else that needs to be fixed? Yes, its ears. Growing up to 10 centimeters in length, rabbits can turn their ears by 180 degrees, keeping a careful listen out for predators. Well, a rabbit's big ears aren't just for listening. They also help regulate the rabbit's body temperatures. The ear's blood vessels swell when it's hot out and contract when it's cold. Interesting, right? Now, let's slightly bend our rabbit's ears and drag and place it over its head. Just like this. Perfect! Now our rabbit is in the dung position. Finally, select the image as whole and click on the group so that all the body parts are merged together. Well, the work is done. We got our rabbit in the crouch position. Now, let's get back to code. When we click on the down arrow, the rabbit should dung, right? Let's run it. Just click on the flag button. Oh well, as you can see, the rabbit is not dunging as we click on the down arrow. This is because we haven't added any code to the down arrow yet. So first, in the down arrow sprite, drag and drop when the sprite clicked from the events tool. The when the sprite click block gets activated whenever we click on the down arrow. So now we have two conditions here. One is when we click on the down arrow and the rabbit dungs, and the other is we don't click on the down arrow and the rabbit runs normally. But how will the code interpret when the arrow is clicked or when it's not clicked? For that, we need to create a memory space to save the status of the down arrow. So, let us create a variable called moveDown to save the status of the arrow. Wait, what is actually a variable? A variable is a letter or sometimes words that are used in coding to save different values at different times. For example, we pour tea into a glass, but we can also pour water or juice into the same. So we are using glass as a variable to store different items at different occasions. Like that, a variable in coding can be used to save different values such as 1, 2, 3, etc. at different occasions. Go to Variables and select Make a Variable. Enter the new variable name as moveDown and press OK. Also, please note that in Scratch, you can choose your own words for making variables. So now, when the down sprite is clicked, we will make the variable move down, set to any value here. I am choosing it as 1 as it will be easier to understand. Now attach the set move down to 0 block to the when sprite clicked block and change the value from 0 to 1. So from now on, whenever we click on the down arrow, the variable move down will be assigned with the value 1. Next, we need to change the costume to rabbit dung. The logic is simple. We only need to check if the value of the variable move down is 1. If it's so, we can switch the costume to rabbit dung. So now, click on the rabbit sprite. As explained in the logic, we will be using the if-then conditional block from control. Now drag and drop an if-then block. In this block, we can check a condition, and if it's true, then the blocks that we place inside this block will be executed. In our case, we need to check if the variable move down is 1 or not. If its value is 1, then we need to switch the costume to rabbit dung. Here, we have to use a relational operation to check this condition. Go to the operators and you can see many operators here. What we need is an equal to operator to check whether the move down is equal to 1. Drag and attach the equal to operator block to the if-then block. Then go to variables, select move down block and place it to the left of equal to block. Change the value from 50 to 1 as we have to check if it is equal to 1 or not. Yes, we have finally set out the conditions, and now all we need to do is go to the looks and drag and drop switch costume to the if block and then select the costume rabbit dung. Well, did you know a rabbit's vision covers nearly 360 degrees, which allows them to see what's coming from behind them, above them and from the sides without turning their heads. And this in return helps the rabbit skillfully escape from the predators when they are around. I hope that our rabbit will be safe and sound by the end of the game. And I'm sure we share the same opinion here. Well, let's get back to where we left off. So now, as per our code, when we click on the down arrow, the move down variable becomes 1, and when the move down is 1, the rabbit will dung by changing its costume to rabbit dung. We need to continuously check whether the down arrow is clicked or not right. So place the if-then block inside the forever block so that the code can check the status of move down all the time. But we have a problem here. Normally, the rabbit should run continuously, and once we click on the down arrow and set the move down to 1, the costume changes to rabbit dung. But even after we release the click on the down arrow, the switching of costume rabbit dung doesn't stop. Any solutions to solve the issue? Of course there is. The costume of the rabbit should change to the one in which it runs right after we release the click on the down arrow. So click on the down arrow sprite. Now if we set the value of move down to any other value other than 1, just after completion of set move down to 1 block, the if condition on the rabbit sprite won't work, as the initial step adds some time to process the first block when we click on the arrow. Go to Control and drag and place the wait block. Now go back to the variables, drag and drop the set move down to 0 block below the wait block. And since the 0 is a value other than 1, we don't have to change it. let's check our code. Click on the flag button and you can see that when the down arrow button is clicked, the rabbit is not dodging. So let's make it right. Stop the code and now go to the rabbit sprite and add a wait block after the switch costume to rabbit dung block. Run the code again. See, the issue is resolved. But the rabbit is not on the ground when dodging. Now, click on the costumes. Select the rabbit dung costume and then select the rabbit as a whole. Drag it down so that when the eagle approaches, the rabbit can dung at a point where the eagle cannot touch it. Finally, we are done with the down arrow coding. Well, the move down variable is visible on the stage, so we need to remove it from the screen. For that, go to Variables, deselect the block Move Down. Yes, the variable is removed. Click on the flag and yay, it works fine. Since we are done with the down arrow, the next step is to add an up arrow. Instead of uploading an up arrow sprite, let's duplicate this down arrow. For that, right-click on the down arrow sprite from the sprite list and click on the duplicate option. Also, rename the arrow sprite as up arrow. Go to Costumes to change the appearance of up arrow. Click on the Flip Vertical tool at the top center. And there you go. We have reversed the direction of the down arrow and now it looks like an up arrow. Now I am arranging both the arrows in this way. So now we have an up arrow and a down arrow. Why did we actually add the up arrow to the game? Yes, to make our rabbit jump past the cacti on his way. But did you know? Rabbits can hop and jump. In fact, rabbits can jump to impressive heights and distances, a little over 3 feet high and a whopping 10 feet long. According to Guinness World Records, the highest rabbit jump reached 3.26 feet off the ground and the farthest reached nearly 10 feet. There are even rabbit jumping competitions where owners can show off their pet's ability. So coming back to our game, when we click on the up arrow, the rabbit should jump. For that, we need to switch the costume of the rabbit. Well, we duplicated the arrow along with its code. Since this code was created for down arrow, we have to bring some changes to it in order to use it for up arrow. First, we need to create a new variable, move up. Get back to code. Now, click on Make a Variable block. Enter the new variable name as Move Up. And finally, press OK. Deselect the block Move Up to remove it from the stage. Now, change the Move Down to Move Up in all the Set Move Down to blocks. Now, the rabbit should respond to the actions of the up arrow. For that, click on the rabbit sprite, go to Controls, drag and drop the If-Then conditional block inside the Forever block. Now select an equal to block from the operators and place it in the if block. Now go to Variables, attach the Move Up block to one end of the equal to block and change the value from 50 to 1 as we did earlier. The rabbit must bounce when we click on the up arrow. For that, let's first set the jumping position of the rabbit. Click on the flag and wait until the cactus reaches the rabbit. Now click on Stop. Now go to the Motion tool, select Glide 1 seconds to X and Y block and place it inside the last if-then conditional block. Note down the X and Y positions and enter it in the glide block. This is where the rabbit has to return after jumping. Now, drag the rabbit to a height where the rabbit can avoid touching the cactus. Select another glide 1 seconds to X and Y block and place it above the first glide block in the if-then conditional block. Enter the new XY values where this is the position where the rabbit jumps when we click on the up arrow. Now, add a weight block in between these glide blocks to hold the rabbit in the jumping position until the cactus passes. The X and Y value given in the block is the jumping position of the rabbit. Let's change 1 seconds to 0.2 to make the jump faster. Well, I'm very much excited to see the result. So, click on flag. And yes, our rabbit is running. Now click on the up arrow key. Yay! Our rabbit jumps over the cactus. Now click on the down arrow key. Yes! Our rabbit dodges when the eagle approaches. Mate, you have done a great job. Well done. Wow, what a session. I am on cloud 9 to see all the efforts you are putting into creating this game. But we are not done yet. In the next session, we will be adding a game over backdrop to the game when the rabbit hits any obstacles. Also, we will be adding 2 more sprites to earn more score points. But any guesses on what the sprites are? Well, to find out, you will have to wait till the next session, and until then, it's a bye.